willingness to pursue Jesus in your life. And we totally recognize, and I hope it's clear from the just the atmosphere in the church, that everybody understands we've all fallen short of the glory of God. We all have struggles. You should hear that from pastors while they're preaching, and they're referring to the fact that they have struggles too. And that's the kind of atmosphere we want in the church, where we can be honest about those things. And so we try to be a kind of a community where we can help each other with our struggles. And that happens in our small groups. That happens, sometimes it's helpful to meet with a pastor to talk about things you're dealing with in your life. If you'd like some assistance or help, we refer out to professional counselors that we found have been very helpful with people for marriage struggles and things of that sort. And then we also have a couple of ministries that help with this. One of the most important in our church is the Stephen Ministry, that helps people when they're going through some kind of more like a transient crisis, like the loss of a loved one or a divorce or something like that. We have people specially trained to come alongside and be of assistance, mainly through good listening and personal support to people. So if you're interested in that ministry and you're kind of like a caregiver type, that Stephen Ministry would be a good one to think about. But it's, number one, a commitment to pursue the Pilgrim's path. And, I might say that we ask people who are members to be baptized, either as an infant or as an adult. So that's kind of your signal that, yes, I've made this turn towards Jesus and I'm wanting to take those steps on the path. So to be a member, you want to be baptized. That's why we always have a baptism connected to one of our classes. So our next baptism being on Easter. It's fine to join the church before the baptism on Easter, you're intending to be baptized kind of thing. Second commitment is a commitment to participate in the worship and ministry of the church as you are able. So the word membership means literally membering, like the members of the body, the parts of the body. So membership is equivalent to participation, being a part in a larger whole, and that's a dynamic thing, not just a static thing. So membership involves the willingness to participate in the worship and the ministry of the church as you are able. It really is important to join the community when the community is worshiping. And so Sunday mornings is an important gathering for us. And of course, people travel, and you can't make it every Sunday or whatever, but it really is an important discipline to be committed to regular participation in the worship life of the church, or you'll just kind of drift in a different direction if you're not part of the body that's gathered. You're missed when you're not here in terms of the worship life of the church. And it's also important to lend a hand in the service life of the church. So we have a ministry life as an organization, as a church, that goes far beyond these walls, and it happens in here on Sunday morning in many different ways. There's significant ministry going on with kids and young people every Sunday, and there's significant ministry of people kind of getting the party ready and being the hosts for the celebration, and there's significant ministry that happens in small groups as care for many people happens in small groups, and in many other ways, in our homeless ministries, and our single moms ministry. So member is someone who's saying, I want to lend my hand to the ministry of the church as I'm able. So I encourage people to think about ministry in two ways. One is just, hey, what's the need? Can I lend a hand? That's a real important Christ-like way of doing ministry, kind of like washing the disciples' feet. There's a need, I want to lend a hand. But there's also kind of an exciting way to think about ministry, which is this, that God has kind of uniquely wired and equipped and gifted each one of us to play like a unique role in the body of Christ. And so over time, as you participate and as you serve in a church community, you learn about yourself in the process, and you kind of see, well, this is what I'm really good at, or this is where God seems to really work through me. And so we encourage people to be in a process of discovery as you connect with the church community, and then over time get a clear understanding of how God has equipped you to serve. And that can be a very satisfying thing, a fulfilling thing, to get a sense of that way that God uniquely works through you. Being a part of a small group, by the way, is a great way to discover that about yourself, because people will reflect back to you the things that you might be really naturally gifted in something, or God uses you powerfully in some way, and to you it's just easy because it's God working through you. But to other people, it's like, wow, did you realize you just constantly encourage people, or you really have wisdom for people, or you're just great at kind of making the group work or happen. I think you might have this gift or that gift. Great part of being part of small groups. So it's a commitment to participate in the worship and ministry of the church. If you're looking for like a easy way to start ministry, being an usher is a great way to start just serving people, because it's putting on the party, and it's happening on Sunday. Another great way is to serve in the Single Moms Ministry or in one of our homeless ministries. So children's ministry is great too. So lots of ways to get started in ministry. A third commitment as being a member of the church is a commitment to invest in and nurture personal relationships. It's not just being here on Sunday, but connecting with people on a personal level, so that there are people who know you and you know people. And if someone is struggling, there's someone in the church family who notices it and kind of come alongside. We want to really invest and nurture personal relationships. That's why we encourage small groups so much, because that's an easy way to nurture and invest in personal relationships in the church. But it can happen in a lot of different ways, including serving on different ministry teams or just connecting with people one-on-one. But it's a commitment to invest in and nurture personal relationships. And part of that is learning how to repair relationships when they're wounded or injured. So one of the most important things about the discipline of being part of a church community is that you're committed to not just, walking away from relationships when there's the first sign of turbulence, but you're committed to working out, learning what are the repair mechanisms when relationships go a little south, or when someone says something offensive and it really gets stuck under your craw, and how can you actually work those things out. So it's a commitment to grow in that process of working out your relationship strains and tensions that come into being part of a church community. One of the reasons that there's such a fluidity in church membership in the United States right now is that people join churches and they go through a honeymoon phase that lasts for maybe 2 or 3 years, and then they start serving and they have more interactions with people, and then someone says something that's really stupid, or you get your toes stepped on, and it's like there's so much fear to work out a little relationship thing like that it's easier just to go find another church, and the cycle continues, and you stay there for 2 or 3 years and move on to the next one. So we want to break that kind of a cycle as part of our discipleship to Jesus, and be committed to invest in and nurture our relationships in the church community, and apply those lessons to all of our relationships. And then fourth, it's a commitment to give financially to support our community life and our mission as a church. So to be a member of the church is to share in the expenses of the church, so to speak. It's like when you're a member of a family, you do the chores and you help out with the household finances and whatnot. And of course, this is really important because Jesus makes a big point about money as one of those key aspects of discipleship, that we can't really follow Jesus unless in some way it influences our pocketbook. So somewhere on this journey, he's going to be kind of tapping your shoulder about that, saying, the earth is the Lord's, and you are a steward, as Donnell was saying, and not just the owner of your wealth. And so let's bring your money into your worship life. So we ask everyone who's a member to give regularly and generously to the church as part of what it means to be a member. We've got some guidelines for giving. I think that they are probably in your notes. And we've also got an appendix that talks a little bit more about giving. We encourage people to give to the Lord as an act of worship. So it's not like dues in an organization. It's really an integral part of your relationship with God, your life of worship. Give as an act of worship. That's why Nancy and I like to give in the service. We write the checks out every week and we put them in the offering. To us, that makes it more like an act of worship. There's other ways to give. You can mail in your contributions and online giving and all that. But give as an act of worship. Give what you can, not what you can't. Another principle there is give according to your means.